This is The Top, where I interview entrepreneurs who are number one or number two in their industry in terms of revenue or customer base. You'll learn how much revenue they're making, what their marketing funnel looks like, and how many customers they have.
I'm now at $20,000 per top.
5 and 6 million. He is hell-bent on global domination. We just broke our 100,000 units sold mark.
And I'm your host, Nathan Latka.
This is episode 677. Coming up tomorrow morning, I talk to Alessandro. If you're a creative who needs work, you don't want to miss this. She launched Zupa with $8 million raised and $4 million plus in creative projects that they've processed. Good morning, everybody. My guest this morning is Gadi Shamia. He's the Chief Operating Officer at a company called TalkDesk, the world's leading call center software platform. It's backed by DFJ, Storm Ventures, and Salesforce Ventures. TalkDesk grew 8x over the past 2 years and has over 250 employees, along with 1,000 customers, including Box, Shopify, Dropbox, and Weather.com. Prior to TalkDesk, Gadi founded a company that was acquired by SAP and now generates $500 million in global business and was a senior VP at SAP and a general manager at Reach Local. Gadi, are you ready to take us to the top?
Absolutely.
Was that SAP company EchoSign by chance?
No, EchoSign was acquired by Adobe.
Got it. What was the one that went to SAP?
The company name was TopManage, and the product that SAP sells today is called SAP Business One.
Very cool. Okay, so you're in a unique spot at TalkDesk. So you're Chief Operating Officer. They were founded in 2011. I think you joined in 2015. Is that right?
Yeah, I joined a little over 2 years ago.
Okay, so I want to get into kind of how you came into the business, but first, tell us what TalkDesk does and what's the business model? How do you make money?
So TalkDesk is a cloud-based, actually born in a cloud call center solution. So it's a fully integrated with voice, SMS, and agent management call center solution. So companies can literally log in and within minutes or days have a fully operational call center that can power companies with 5-10 employees or companies like Shopify with hundreds and hundreds of agents serving customers 24 hours a day.
And what's the business model? How do you make money?
We, like many other enterprise software companies, we charge users for license fees, and we also charge for the telephony component. So the advantage of TalkDesk is you have one vendor that provides both the software and telephony and SMS services. You have one bill and one company to work with.
So is this a SaaS company?
Yes, it's absolutely a SaaS company.
And so I want to avoid going into every individual customer cohort you guys are working with, but on average, what's the average business paying you guys per month?
It's really dependent all over the place. So a company with, say, 50 users who pay, let's say, $5,000 a month or $7,000 a month for the service.
So again, give me an average just so we can get a sense of like your average customer fit.
I don't have an average top of my head. So we have customers with 3 users and we have customers with 850 users. So it's really hard to average them out. Can
you normalize around seats, around users? So what's the per user cost per month on average?
Yeah, the per user cost per month is between $65 to $125, depending on the subscription. And then the typical customer will spend another $30 to $40 on telephony a month.
Got it. Perfect. Now, as a telephony aspect, that's really usage-based, right? That goes up and down based off the data?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Absolutely.
Okay, good. That's helpful. So tell me about why you joined TalkDesk. It's kind of unique. I mean, do they see you as a founder, or what's your role?
You know, how TalkDesk sees me, we need to ask Tiago, with the founder of the company. You know, I don't think of myself. When you join 3 years in, and I did found the company myself, when you join 3 years in, you're not a founder anymore, and you have to acknowledge that. I joined generally because I really like the space and I really like Tiago, the founder. So it was two combinations of really interesting market. The call center space is a $22 billion market. It's still dominated by old players like Avaya and Cisco and Genesis that sell the same system for 20, 30 years. So one side of it was, here's a market which is huge and ready for disruption. The other was, we already had a proven product. Tiago and team, although the team was very small, built a very impressive product that had a couple hundred customers, even by the time I joined. I really liked the product and continued using it for over a year by the time I joined.
Go ahead.
Sorry. And the third was, I really like Tiago. When you join a COO, you cannot not like the CEO, and you cannot not want to engage with the CEO. I really thought we can be really good partners. I think that the fact I'm still here over 2 years after proves to you that it's probably correct.
Was that is Diego the sole founder, or were there co-founders?
Tiago was a co-founder. He had another founder that after 4.5 years left to do her own thing.
What happened? I mean, that's always like an interesting. People never talk about this, but very rarely when you have 2, 3, 4-person co-founding teams, very rarely do all co-founders make it to the promised land or the end. What was the conversation around that exit? Were you there for that or no?
Yeah, I was there, and I think it's a personal issue, so I don't want to get into the specifics of this situation. But I can tell you what I know from experience with other companies. In the best of companies, as you mentioned, some founders leave, and they usually do because either they don't find what they do exciting enough, or they couldn't find themselves in a position where they can make the same impact they did in the early stages. And the worst situation is when a founder stays. And I know companies where two founders that didn't speak with each other and stayed all the way until the end. And this is devastating for the company. So it's really healthy for a company to be in a situation where a founder can actually say, I've done a great job. I built this company, and now I'm ready to take on, my next task, or maybe be a CEO in a different company.
And what that makes sense. So this all kind of happened around when you joined, right around 2015, 2014.
Actually, it happened a year after I joined.
Okay. And what did you said the company when you joined size was a couple hundred customers? I mean, had it broken the $1 million ARR mark when you joined, or was it still earlier than that?
No, it did break the $1 million ARR, which was amazing to me. Seeing such a small team doing so well was, again, one of the other attracting points to Talkdesk. Because
what was the team size when you say small team?
I think it was 20 people when I joined. Yeah. And Tiago and the very few engineers we had really built a compelling product that spoke for itself. In the first 2 years of the company, or 1.5 years after setting the product, because the product was actually sold maybe from the mid-2013, even not from the first day of the company, Tiago was the only salesperson. He was running around, positioning the product, showing it to customers, and was able to get remarkable brands to use the product.
And were you the relationship around you and Tiago? I mean, was this something where you were like an EIR at DFJ and they put you in with their round of financing, or did you come in kind of before the financing? How did you two meet?
I came before the financing. So I actually met Tiago through my friends at Stone Ventures. I was an EIR at Stone Ventures 7-8 years ago. So a lifetime ago, and I'm still in very good contact with all the investors there. And they told me, I think in the midst of 2014, that I should meet Tiago. He's just an impressive guy. And I went on and met him, and we met several times during 2014. And towards the end of 2014, we said, we like each other enough, we can help each other, and I decided to join.
Did you lead Storm Ventures round in Talkdesk's $3 million Series A or C?
No, Storm was there before. So Storm knew Talkdesk through the investment relationship they had.
Got it. Okay, and then so take us forward. Let's talk more kind of about the macroeconomics, about the industry. So when you guys are growing, well, first off, how many customers are you at to date? Fast forward.
About 1,200.
Okay, and is that seats or businesses using you?
No, this is businesses using us.
Okay, let's talk about the bigger number. How many people? How many seats inside of those 1,200 companies?
I think it's about 50,000.
Okay, 50,000. And I mean, you gave a seat range earlier on the low end of $65 a seat. Can I do $65 times 50,000 to back into the MRR number?
You can try. I don't know which number you're going to get to, and I'm not really good at quick math.
Well, I mean, so that number comes out to about $3.2 million in monthly recurring revenue. Is that basically accurate, or is that math wrong?
We don't talk about finances, so
well, Gadi, just to be clear, I'm just doing the math, right? You said $65 on the low end ARPU range seat wise, and then you just said 50,000 seats. So I'm just doing math based off the numbers you told me. Is that accurate, basically?
Your math is not wrong, but it's more complex than this. Some of the seats are seasonal, some of them are come and go, but the math is not vastly wrong.
Okay, so the 50,000 customers, when you mentioned seasonal, tell me about that. How do you guys manage churn?
So this is a little different. Seasonal customers so a lot of our customers are e-commerce customers, and they will have to ramp up towards the hot season, which is November, December, January, and then ramp down. So when customers come to us, we usually come up with a solution, give them bank of users that they can use towards the end of the year, ramp up their business and then ramp it back down. So they're not locked into 300 users or 200 users they don't have to use. So natural growth happens, and this is where customers will add users. But many of our customers do need a seasonality aspect to their business, and we work with them to offer this flexibility, so they're not stuck with unused licenses.
So are you guys, that sounds like a big obstacle in the way of trying to get to like a net negative revenue churn number. Have you guys hit net negative revenue churn yet? And if not, what are some things you're trying to do to drive more than just seasonal usage?
So we're definitely in a net negative churn world. And if you think of it, if you look at the business on an annual basis, this seasonality will reoccur. So if a customer went from, say, 200 agents to 500 agents, in year one, they're likely to go from 250 to maybe 600 in year two. So seasonality reoccurs. So on an AR basis, it doesn't really create churn, especially when you build it into the annual contract. So what we learn to do with customers is we talk about upfront about the seasonal needs, and we build it into their annual contracts. So from revenue perspective, we don't really see this revenue fluctuates, but from users using the platform, we definitely see more users in December than we see in like February, couple of months after, despite our natural growth. But then it kind of comes back again, and the next year is even larger.
So are we talking about like net revenue expansion year over year of like 120%, 150%, 110%?
We don't disclose these numbers, but it's very healthy and comparable to some of the great SaaS companies in the industry.
Give me the number one of the other great SaaS companies you respect.
We respect many of them for different reasons. We really like Workday for how innovative they are in a pretty boring business. We love Salesforce
very boring
for what
space.
we love Salesforce for what they do and how they actually train the market to really work the Salesforce way. We love the way they manage their ecosystem, and we have a great relationship with them. We work now closely also with ServiceNow. It's another great company that came through a very small niche, but then building out of this niche and building more products out there, but really got to be dominant in the IT services niche and build $1 billion revenue company from this one small $4 billion niche. So, personally, when people ask me which person I'm inspired by, I always say there's no one person. I think it's the same from companies. I like many companies, and we can learn something from every one of them.
Yeah, you anchored to those companies as kind of what you aim for in terms of revenue expansion year over year. So like, I don't know this number off the top of my head. Workday and Salesforce, these guys, what are they aiming for in terms of year over year net revenue expansion?
I think best of breed companies do over 100%, so they don't lose revenue.
Well, of course,
the best companies will get to typically 110 to 120.
Got it.
It's pretty hard to get much more than this just because of natural growth of companies, etc. It also depends on the economy. I think we're in a great time where most companies that work with us benefit and grow. We have customers like DoorDash who start with us.
Like who?
With 40 seats. DoorDash.
Okay.
They start with us with probably 40 seats, and they're now at 800.
Wow.
This is a little bit because of us, because we've done a great job helping them out. But at the same time, DoorDash is just a phenomenal company.
And so for a company like DoorDash, that kind of growth makes sense. I'm curious, though, kind of your team makeup in terms of how many of them are inside salespeople calling into your customers like DoorDash. So what's your current team size, and how many of them are doing sales?
As I said, we're about 250 people in the company. About half of them are in R&D. So if you ask where we invest a lot of our effort is R&D. We truly believe there's so much to do in this space that we have to continue investing in our engineering team. It's also very different than anybody else in our space. Most of our competitors in the call center space wouldn't invest more than 15%, sometimes even 10%.
Who do you compete with? Name 2 or 3.
Five9, InContact, Genesis, Avaya are the main competitors. Most of them are more in maintenance mode than in innovation mode. The rest of our employees are split between sales, customer service, customer success, and professional services.
How many of them are inside sales? Of the 250, how many are just sales?
Sales, probably 80.
80, okay.
Including SDRs, sales operations, AEs, everything that makes up a sales team.
And are you, if you look at your growth, and you had to pick one of these to credit the majority of your growth to, would it be new customer signups or seat expansion in your current customer base?
New customer signup is larger. Seat expansion helps to kind of amplify the growth.
That's great. Now, tell me, Gadi, in terms of funding. So obviously, companies have to make a decision at some point to raise capital or not raise capital. We know you guys have raised capital. How much total have you raised?
$24.5 million.
Okay, and when was the last round?
Almost 2 years ago, July of 2015.
All right, so give me the details. Right now, you're either raising a monster round or you're selling to Salesforce for a lot of money. Which one is it?
Neither.
Come on, look at this guy's smile.
No, neither. Honestly, so our investor, Joe Stein, was speaking at our sales kickoff meeting, and one thing I'll quote him on this, he said, I'm amazed by how capital efficient Talkdesk is and how fast it grows given how much capital it spends.
Yep.
We are, as a company, we're really focused on building a real business. This is something that Tiago is very focused on. We don't want to be this company that burn its way into growth. So everything we do has to have our ROI, which means we still have a lot of the money we raised before.
That's great.
We're not running out of fumes, and we're not in any urgent need to raise raise round. We're definitely going to raise a round sometime this year, but we don't need to. We're not pushed against the wall in any way, shape, or form because we're not wasteful. When we moved to a new office, we didn't invest $2 million and make this office really pretty, knowing that we're going to move out of this office in a year and a half or two.
What'd you invest in your current office?
I don't even remember the number. Not big enough for me to remember.
Yeah. What is the good interesting feedback? I assume you guys aren't break even. You're still burning cash per month, right?
We're still burning cash, but we're very good about burning relatively low amount of cash every month. And it's also, remember, when you grow fast, customers also help your growth. You don't have to only use and normal business don't use investors to fund the growth. Startups do that, and we do it to some extent too. But a lot of our growth is driven by great customers making long-term commitment to us.
Are you pulling that cash forward? Are they paying up front?
Many of our customers will pay, most of our customers pay annual upfront.
Good stuff.
And this is good for them and good for us. They don't like to pay us monthly, and we would love to get the money up front and be able to fund the cost of sales and invest back in R&D, etc.
Yeah, and you have to fund great new COO hires, right?
I was key.
Many of you know I am buying companies that I really, really like, and there's no quicker way for me to get to the bottom of what is happening on that website than using this tool called nathanlatka.com/hotjar, HOTJAR. It basically will give me a recording. Okay, when anybody lands on the website, it'll give me a recording of where the viewer is scrolling, and obviously does the basic stuff like heat maps too, but I learned so much about where the users are scrolling and clicking on my site using that tool. It helps me increase conversion rates, make more money, and grow those businesses faster. And we'll have to see what happens with those businesses, but I'm buying them very quick, and I'm using nathanlatka.com/hotjar for all of my website analytics. You can too. I work with them. It's totally free. You can go to nathanlatka.com/hotjar. No credit card required. Again, use it as much as you want. nathanlatka.com/hotjar. I'll see you there.
All right, Gadi, let's wrap up here with the famous five. Number one, what's your favorite business book?
My favorite business book. It's hard. There's so many great ones. It's exactly like my answer about companies. But I think the book that mostly influenced me, and it's really old, is The Innovator Dilemma.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's an old book. It's 20 years old, and I think that it had such a meaningful content for me, and it's helped me to think about product innovation throughout my career.
Number two, is there a CEO that you're following or studying currently?
Again, I study and follow many, and I think that I just watched Jeff Lawson from Twilio on stage today, and I love how down to earth he is and how hands on he is about what he does. I really admire what Mark Benioff does. Really driving a company hard and driving everybody in Salesforce to grow, but at the same time have this compassionate side of him and the community side of him. So I love what he does. And again, I think there's a lot of great CEOs out there, and there's no single one you can learn from.
Number three, besides your own, what's your favorite online tool?
My favorite online tool. Wow, you're asking me hard questions. You should send me this question in advance.
These are easy compared to the ones I've been asking you.
Yeah, but again, there's so many of them. At the end of the day, I spend most of my time in Gmail, and I really like what Google did for the efficiency of managing email. I spend a lot of time on Slack, which I find disruptive and innovative at the same time. So I guess between the two of them, again, super boring, but It is what I use a lot.
Number 4, Gadi, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
6.5.
Okay, so not bad. And what's your situation? Married, single, do you have kids?
Yeah, married. Another tech executive working for Stitch Fix, and I have 2 kids.
Two little. Now, are they super young or what?
They're super young. One of them is almost 20, and the other is 16. I have 2 teenagers at home. One of them is not home; is in college.
Almost empty nester. And how old are you?
I'm 48.
Okay, last question, Gadi. Take us back 28 years. What do you wish your 20-year-old self knew?
20. You're blowing my mind with these questions. I was very at 20, maybe not 20, but 22, 23. I served 5 years in the Army, so I really started my life at 23, 24. So back then, I probably really wished I knew what I'm going to do when I grow up. I was really stressed about that. I was really concerned about not being as successful as my parents, I guess as many kids are. And I wish I knew it will be fine. I wish I knew that I will be fine and I would be less stressed about that. And I see my kid going through the same level of stress right now.
Well, Gadi, thank you for your service. Again, he wishes he was at more ease about his future when he was younger. Again, now joining TalkDesk, they've raised a significant amount of capital, about $24 million, serving about 1,200 businesses, making up about 50,000 seasonal seats. Those seats paying between $65 and $125 per seat. They've got a team of 250 folks, about 80 of them focused on inside sales. Again, focused on bringing the call center online and making it significantly more efficient for everybody everywhere. Gadi, thank you for taking us to the top.
Thank you very much.
If you enjoyed Gadi's story today, go back and listen to Mike Wynn yesterday. He's raised $30 million with this company called Drone Deploy. I think he might be the first drone trillionaire. It would mean the world to me if you guys got any value from this episode, if you would go leave a review on iTunes right now and then subscribe. I hustle like heck to get these episodes out every freaking day for you guys. And trust me, I love it. I would do it with no listeners. But boy, oh boy, it makes my day and it makes my team's day when we see great reviews and get your feedback. So thanks so much. Okay, Top Tribe, I love giving away free money. I feel like Oprah giving away cars, and I have something special for you today. How many of you have heard our super sharp guests talk about success they've had with Facebook and Google Ads? Well, all of you listening right now, yes, if you're listening, you get $100 in free AdWords. Here's how you get it. Okay, again, thanks for listening. Get the free $100 from Google, right, when you sign up with my website host provider, HostGator. Go sign up now to get your free money. HostGator.com/Nathan. Again, that's HostGator.com/Nathan.